What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90, and today it is time for the Week 21 Premier League predictions. And as an Arsenal fan, what a week. Arsenal are now, for the first time in who knows how long, officially the bookies' favourites to win the Premier League title. In fact, their victory over Tottenham in the North London derby helped secure the Premier League winners' treble accumulator that I gave to the members. We also had a very nice both teams score treble, and it's cut off. In fact, if I scroll across, you'll see I predicted a 1-1 draw in the Spanish game, but still both teams to score, and that came in. And the result treble for Galatasaray, Hearts and Aston Villa. I want to give a shout out to the new members that have joined since the last video. That's Arthur Varner, Landframe Technology again, Lucas Perish, Rudy Mawuku Akbala, J.A. and Leicester Gillis. Thank you for joining the members club. If you want to join, get exclusive members tips and accumulators, and support the channel, then be sure to click the join button or the link in the description. Leave your predictions down in the comments below, and let's get to it. First up, we do have Liverpool up against Chelsea. The two teams obviously occupying the 9th and 10th spots in the Premier League. I think this is going to be low scoring, cagey. I think either team could win. It could be a draw. So with all that being said, I'm just going to edge home form and go for a 1-0 draw to Liverpool. But like I said, I think it could be a 1-1, could be a 2-1, 2-0. I think if there is a team that's going to win it, it's going to be Liverpool. Even though they got absolutely battered by Brighton and they lost to Brentford too. Not looking pretty. Chelsea, they got the win over Crystal Palace. I was expecting that. But before this, as you can see, losing to Fulham, Man City, drawing with Forest. That was the big result for me. I just thought that was, I mean, basically as good as an L. So I'm going to go for a Liverpool 1-0 win. My tip is Liverpool double chance and under 3.5 goals at 1.8. So you get the same odds as Liverpool to win for saying Liverpool double chance and just adding there not to be 4 or more goals. And I don't think there will be 4 or more goals. After that, Bournemouth up against Nottingham Forest, the favourite to go down in Bournemouth, even though they're not in the relegation zone, and Nottingham Forest stringing together a few decent results, giving them a bit of daylight between themselves and the bottom. Bournemouth slight favourites here as far as the bookies are concerned, because of their home form and the fact that obviously they play better at home, and Forest's away form is pretty woeful. They barely ever score. However, because Bournemouth aren't that great, Forest will think they can get something. Because Forest are vulnerable away from home, Bournemouth will think they can get something. I think both teams will be able to score, and I'm going to give Bournemouth their first point in a while. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, and my tip is both teams to score at 1.8. After that, it's Leicester up against Brighton. Now, Brighton are heavy favourites here at 2.05 away from home, which I can understand, but at the same time, you just got to feel like Leicester are going to come good at some point. I think it's going to be high scoring and exciting regardless. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I know Brighton just beat Liverpool, but something in my gut is telling me draw. I could see Brighton winning, but I'm going to go 2-2. My tip is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 2.1. I'd be flabbergasted if that doesn't happen. The only way that doesn't happen is if Brighton win 3-0 again like they did against Liverpool. I really think a lot of goals, both teams to score. I think that's a brilliant shout. After that, it's Southampton up against Aston Villa. Southampton finally ending the rot and getting a 2-1 win against Everton. Did not expect them to do that, I'm not going to lie. And Aston Villa getting the 2-1 win against Leeds that we predicted exactly. I think this is going to be another draw. I think at home, Aston Villa, you'd expect them to take all 3 points, but Southampton are not easy to beat at home compared to playing them away. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. And my tip is actually going to be draw at this value, 3.26 here, because I think it's going to be kind of low scoring, kind of tight, cagey. I think a 1-1 draw, a 0-0 draw, that could definitely happen with basically Southampton not wanting to lose another game. So I'm going to go with that. After that, West Ham Everton, rumours that Moyes could face the sack if West Ham lose this game. Obviously Lampard, I'd say Moyes and Lampard are two of the managers that are the closest to the chopping block. This is El Sakiko, as it's been dubbed. I'm actually going to go, finally, for a West Ham win. Everton let me down with that game against Southampton last week. And at home, the Hammers, they do have good players. And I think they're going to beat Everton, cutting them adrift down there and seeing the Hammers move up. I love, as exciting as the title race is, the relegation fight is just as intriguing. I'm really, really enjoying the season. So my tip is West Ham to win at 1.73. After this, it's Crystal Palace up against Newcastle. Newcastle going strength to strength. You've got to go for another clean sheet. I'm going to go for just quite simply a 1-0 win to Newcastle. I reckon I'm going to go with Alexander Isak to score the solitary goal. And my tip is quite simply going to be under 2.5 goals. Just in case it's a 1-1 draw, Newcastle don't get the win, or similarly a 0-0 draw, I'm going to stick with the under 2.5 goals. Obviously, Newcastle could go crazy and win 3-0, but you got 1-0 there, 0-0 there, 0-0 there, 3-0 there. That's the case in, where it wouldn't work. 1-0 there, 4-1, that's just a bit of a freak one, and 4-0. But these are obviously all way back a couple of months ago. They've been a lot more defensively solid, getting the odd goal here and there where they need to. I'm going for a 1-0 win to Newcastle, under 2.5 goals at 1.72. You could just go for the Newcastle outright one, though, if you are confident. Now, this next one, Leeds Brentford. I'm going to go for high scoring, entertaining. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Brentford. And my tip is Brentford to win at 2.84. Unbelievable value. I think Brentford are going to absolutely batter Leeds, to be honest. I mean, Leeds actually played all right against Aston Villa, to be fair. And Bamford is back. I believe he did score. But I just think, how are you going to stop a team like Brentford that have this sort of momentum? Like, if you look at their results, Bournemouth 2-0, it's exactly as I predicted. They beat Liverpool, they beat West Ham, they drew with Tottenham, they beat Man City. I mean, that's an unbelievable run. We've got a draw with Forest there and a draw with Wolves there. But, you know, those last 5, unbelievable run. I'm going to go for Brentford to win again. After this, Man City up against Wolves. Not going to spend too long on this one. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Manchester City. We don't yet know the result of the Palace-Man United game and the City-Tottenham game at the time of recording this, by the way. But I am going to go for a 2-0 City win. My tip is Man City to win to 0 at 1.83. A massive increase from 1.17 for a Wolves team that struggled to score. They got the goal against West Ham and against Villa. But they lost to United. Managed to beat Everton, but Everton are terrible. Lost to Arsenal. That was just a mental game. And managed to score against Brentford. But at the end of the day, Wolves don't score many goals. And Man City don't concede that many goals. But they are vulnerable. I will give them that. They are vulnerable. I think Wolves will have chances, but I don't think they'll be able to score, basically. I'm going to come back to this one, Arsenal and Fulham. Arsenal, Man United, sorry. Fulham and Tottenham. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Tottenham, partly because you think, oh my goodness, Tottenham just have to win. If Fulham beat them, they go above them in the table, which would be absolutely mental. But I do think Tottenham are going to get the win. My tip is both teams to score over 2.5 goals. I think you could go for Tottenham to win outright. Fulham are good. But there comes a time when Tottenham have just got to win. Like they did against Palace just here. They've just got to win. And I could see them doing it here. Arsenal, Manchester United. Now, Arsenal have actually won 3 of the last 4 home games against Manchester United. And they drew the other. So they have a very good home record. They are unbeaten at home this season in the league. Their only loss this season, of course, was away to Manchester United. But in that game, they did play well. They did look good. I would say they were the better team, but then Man United managed the game a bit better. So I would say on the ball, Arsenal were better, but Man United countered them, took advantage of that slight naivety and managed to get the win. But I think Arsenal are going to win this game. I actually do. As good as Man United have been, obviously, let's say Casemiro gets a 5th yellow card against Crystal Palace tonight. He doesn't play against Arsenal. There's a red card, an injury. Arsenal have had more rest time for this fixture than Man United, and they've got unbelievable form. Obviously, Man United have as well. So I'm going to go for a 2-1. Could be a draw. Could even be a Man United win. Just like I think Arsenal should have beat Man United last time. Man United could win this time, and it could be really crazy in terms of the title race and Man United's aspirations, in fact. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Arsenal. You could look at that, but my tip is over 2.5 goals at 1.72. I think you could get better odds than Arsenal to win if you went both teams to score over 2.5 goals, which I would consider to probably be more likely. The only way I'd see that not happening is if Arsenal win 2-0 like they did against Spurs. But I think United have been good enough to suggest that they will get at least a goal. So I think both teams to score over 2.5 goals. But I've kept it at just over 2.5 goals in case either team wins 3-0 or something like that. I've kept it on side. So these are my results. Chelsea, more misery for them losing out at Anfield. Bournemouth to get a point against Forest. Leicester to get a good point against Brighton. Southampton to get a point against Villa. West Ham to get a much needed 3 points against Everton. Potentially could see Lampard sacked after that. Newcastle to keep on trucking away. This could be a game that Newcastle fails to win. I do think this will be quite difficult. That's why I've gone low scoring. I think Brentford are going to continue their form. City back to winning ways. Arsenal get the better of Man United, and Tottenham finally get a result that makes Tottenham fans feel a little bit less depressed. But that is going to do it for the Week 21 Premier League predictions. If I had to pick a little accumulator for you, it would probably be both teams scoring over 2.5 goals in the Arsenal-Man United game, and Brentford to win. Just a double. I think that's really good odds. It'd be odds of about 5-1 for that double. Pretty good if you ask me, I think, because the Brentford odds are so mental. So be sure to drop a like, subscribe down below so you don't miss any future videos. That is going to do it from me, and I'll see you in the next one very soon.